What's up, everyone? Welcome to Bluegrass State of Mind, the show where three college roommates talk life, sports, and all the ridiculous things that happen in an apartment we like to refer to as Room 302. We're bringing you stories, hot takes, and the kind of late-night debates that probably should have stayed in the group chat.
So grab your headphones, sit back, and get ready for a wild ride through our past college life, sports, and everything in between. Let's get into it. This is Bluegrass State of Mind.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. As you can see, we have a little bit of a different setup. We have got into the real podcast world, some may say. Mason, what do you think about the setup?
It's pretty sweet. About time we upgraded, huh?
Yeah, I know. Going from the AirPods. Some people have put on the comments before, nice little setup, I don't know if they're being honest with us or if they're just kind of throw shade at us. But regardless of the situation, we're here now. So as you see, our partner in crime, Colton, is out tonight. He is still on his honeymoon. Hope he gets back safely. Not really sure when he's coming back. Is it,
tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Okay.
Yep.
So, well, since last time we were on here, we have had a lot of stuff occur, whether it be missing out on recruits, whether it be coaches leaving that we possibly want, the governor of Kentucky throwing shade at Kentucky athletics. I mean, you name it, it's happening. But I guess for right now, let's kind of start off with kind of what is maybe the real issue at hand. I think there's a lot of different ways we can take this, but given the stance of Mason, thinking about where we were at this point last week, where we had Sebastian Rankick from Colorado who was on campus, really somebody I know that you said that you really liked and thought actually fit the system better than the Donnie Freeman. But regardless of the situation, we had both on campus. Kind of was in the pilot seat, thinking like we're going to for sure get one of the other, and then all of a sudden everything escalated real quick. You see that Sebastian Rankick was the guy who wanted to go to UK, and he says, "All right, I'm not going to hold out. I'm going to go get a bag." So he goes to Florida State. Donnie Freeman. And I think this is where I'm going to hand it over to you, and it kind of just gets like, okay, what is going on? Because you look at Donnie Freeman. Donnie Freeman visits Kentucky. He's down to UK, Alabama, UConn. Then, all of a sudden, UConn backs out, Bama backs out, and then it's really just Kentucky. And you're like, okay, we feel really good at where we're at. And then all of a sudden, St. John's comes out of nowhere. Papa Daddy Ricky P comes in and takes over the show, and Donnie Freeman is a Johnny now. So, kind of where are you at with everything? I'm just going to hand it over to you, and then we'll dive. We'll just bounce back off of each other.
Yeah. I'd say at this point I'm just very frustrated. I sent in the group earlier, like I was very excited when the transfer portal first opened, right? Like, okay, here's Pope's chance to prove himself. Let's go out, let's get some studs, let's get excited for next season. And I sent in our group message, I think earlier today, I'm just kind of at the point now where like I'm really done worrying about it, right? Like I'm not really letting it affect me that much, not getting excited, not sitting here saying, oh, Pope this, Pope that. I'm just kind of like bleh right now at it, right? Because like at this point, I don't expect us to be good next year. Now, could Pope change that and surprise us? Sure. But I think what frustrates me the most is the whole Freeman and Rancic situation. If you have a guy who is ready to commit and come to you, you are recruiting him to be a starter. And if you pass on him, you have to know 1,000% that you have Donnie Freeman locked up. And you already mentioned it. I mean, I thought Rancic was a better fit for our system. I watched some highlights on him. He can stretch the floor for us. Seems to pass it pretty well. He moved really, really well for his size. Seemed to be able to defend pretty well. I know people will probably say like Freeman has a higher maybe NBA potential, but I think in Pope's system, Rancic was a better player for us. And not even to talk about like you probably could have got him for $1 million cheaper,
money.
$500,000 cheaper, you know? So I think that's the biggest thing that's frustrated me so far is one, they've kind of underperformed in the portal. I'd say, Wright and Freeman are the two big misses that we've had. But at some point, Pope has to figure it out. He has to figure out how to lock these recruits down. And I really don't understand why you pass on a guy who he's solid, right? Like I would have taken him at our starting four just because he would have spread the floor, would have gave us more spacing. He had size. He moved pretty well. Like if you have a starter that's saying they want to come to Kentucky, don't sit there and not sign them because you think you have somebody else and then that falls through. So I think that's where I'm at right now. Just frustrated with the whole thing.
Yeah. And, anybody and everybody is probably a little frustrated. And if you're not, you're lying. Probably you're not showing it. But, there's some frustration. But I'm going to look at it from a different perspective on a couple of things. One being that, when we think about what is occurring, like why is Mark Pope not getting the job done? And I think one of the biggest things that everybody keeps questioning is that, and the reason why is because one, we've not heard from Mark Pope. Mark Pope has went MIA. I was listening to KSR the other day, and I talked to you today about Will Stein. Will Stein's got it figured out. Now, he's not played a single game in the blue and white yet, but talk about rallying around a fan base. Just listening to him talk and just hearing your leader talk about things, like that's what we want. Like we want to hear our coach give us updates. Now, does he have to give us the insight of everything? No. But like, dude, we have not heard from you since your call-in show, and the last time we heard from you, you laid out all those facts about you and John Calipari, which I was fine with some of them, like it's just facts. But at the same time, like I will go back to this right now. On one thing that I 100% agree with Matt Jones on is that whenever you do not come out and say anything, there is this silence that is lingering. Silence will be filled with loud noise. There's a void. So there's going to be speculation. It's going to be negativity, could be positivity, but it will be filled. Right now, you're seeing a lot of it being negative because of what we're seeing forecasted in front of our eyes with all these misses. Now, which that leads me to my second point. I don't really know the answer of why we can't get these guys. Is it JMI? Nobody knows. Is it Pope? Nobody knows. Like, there's really so much unsaid. And also, it could just be the whole contract itself, Maybe bring in, I don't know, a GM, like that. That's something that we have discussed multiple times on this show that, this is a spot that Mark Pope needs help with, it seems like. So I just feel like but my last thing before we get into more of this, Mason, I refuse to let myself get too up or too down. And I learned that lesson last season. We told ourselves, no matter how they perform against Purdue, we will not overreact. And what was the first thing we opened up our segment with? Hang banner number 9. All right. We're like looking at, and I even called in to KSR and I was like, it is so refreshing to see athletes that across the board, you look at them and our guy's better than your guy. Well, I ate my own words. And you look back, Mason, how often did you look, and you and Colton even say it, more so Colton, how often did we play against another team that mano-a-mano, we had better talent then? Would you say majority of the teams, like, not, and like, as far as athleticism goes, athletes, like, capabilities?
I'd say most of the time, yeah, but not up there with the top dogs,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but we had the athletes is what I'm getting at. Like, we had the guys that we wanted to go get in the portal. We got most of them. Would you agree? Like, we had what we thought was a great transfer portal class and good recruitment. Like, we all were like, oh my God, like, And then you look at it now. So again, Mason, we can still get Tyran Stokes. Like, I mean, like,
We can.
do I think we're going to get him? Probably not. But it's not over. So, like, where are you at with that part of it? Like, the fans who are just like, get rid of Pope. Like, he can't coach. Like, obviously, I don't want to stick up for the man because he's not. There's a lot of things he still has left to prove and has not proven. But at the same time, I mean, get real right now. Like, we're not going to fire Mark Pope right now. We're not going to go get, and we'll get to this here in a minute, a Billy Donovan right now. Like, come on, guys. Like, be realistic for once. Like, you're either going to hurt us or just be where you're at right now, Mason, and kind of be like, okay, it is what it is. Let's ride it out. Let's just, maybe, I hate saying it, but lower expectations mentally. Maybe you don't want to do that out loud, but I mean, like, so what do we do about that? Like, as far as the fan base as a whole, like, how do we react? Because it's such a weird spot to be in.
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of my biggest things that I keep trying to remind myself is, like, the reason why everybody is like this right now is just because we're kind of going through a drought, right? Ain't been to a Final Four in, 10 years? Was 2015 our last one?
Yeah.
I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, so I mean, we ain't been to a Final Four in 11 years. So I just keep telling myself, like, yes, Pope hasn't got us back to where we want to be. But honestly, like, that first season, we were rolling. Like, you don't have injuries. Who knows what could have happened with that team? You have Jackson Robinson, your leading scorer on the bench, Lamont Butler, your starting point guard out. Like, those two guys are a big difference. So we had some great wins that season. I think they were very talented. We beat Florida at home. And so, go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree with that, but I think what, you're going to hear most people saying, especially if Bulldog Coton was on here, is that did we have the best talent, the best guys? Like, I think that is something, and, I think that is a good take. Like, it's respectable, and I get where they're coming from, because you take this year's squad,
here's my
UConn,
argument, though.
I think that's a good example.
Michigan? I mean, they have Lindenborg, and then they just had size. Like, their guard, like, Cadeau is not great. Like, you look, I bet I could name, Arizona had more talent. They beat Arizona. Duke had more talent. Duke got beat. I mean, I'm just sitting here like, I think Florida had more talent. I don't know. I just think, like, that first year, what I keep telling myself is that first year, like, it was not that bad. Like, we just had injuries in the tournament. We lost in the Sweet 16. Now, last year, I don't think the team gelled how they were supposed to. And, we had a mediocre season, maybe a little under what our expectations were for season or for year two in the Mark Pope era. But I don't think the issue here is that he can't coach, Dillon. I think what I said from the beginning, right? Can Mark Pope recruit? And he hasn't shown that yet. He still hasn't. Like, yes, he can get some guys in the transfer portal, but being able to go out there and land these big fish, you saw that come out about Donnie Freeman, about his entire camp, and everybody around him wanted him to go to play for a coach who had got guys to the NBA and would get him ready for that. So is that the stigma around Pope right now? I don't know, but I think my message
I will say, though, that's kind of
fans right now who are calling.
I was going to say, looking at that, though, I mean, Mason, like, I mean, he's got to get a guy first to prove that he can. So I feel like he's not really had a guy that he can prove that can get to the NBA and be that elite level star. Because I think if given the chance, I mean, we don't know. I mean, we've not really seen that guy yet for him. So that's kind of something in the area that could be into question. One thing I want to get to, though, is this whole Tyran Stokes thing, man. I mean, like, come on now. Like, you see all this stuff that he's doing, whether it be the getting the tattoo with the UK game in the background, wearing Adidas stuff, maybe hinting at Kansas, going on Instagram Live or TikTok, whatever it was, and then having, like, some UK fan kind of giving, he done kind of an interview sort of, type deal. Yeah. Like, is this dude full of it, or is it like just one of those things that he probably still has no idea or is just waiting to cash out? Does he have his mind made up? Like, where are you at with the whole Tyran Stokes thing? Because I have my personal feelings about it, but I just want to hear your
Yeah.
thoughts before I give mine.
I really think that he's playing this exactly how he wants to, right? Like he knows exactly what he's doing. He's getting more attention every time he goes live. There's so many people on there. I mean, I was on his TikTok live last night. He was on there for 20 minutes. You know how much he made in gifts from Kentucky fans? Like every single one of them were Kentucky fans sending him gifts on TikTok. He made like $450, $500 in 20 minutes on TikTok. So my answer, I think it's all. Yes, I think it's all about the money. And another thing that makes me think that is he's sitting there on TikTok live and he had some guests with him. I don't know who it was. Wes. All it said was Wes.
Why would he not just go live every single night and be like, all right, BBN, where you at?
Yeah. But that Wes guy, he was like, hey, he was like, what is, he said, somebody asked me, what does BBN stand for? And Tyron was like, hold on. He was like, it took him a minute. He was like, let me make sure I get this right. And he kind of paused for a second. He was like, Big Blue Nation. And I was like, man, he didn't know what BBN stood for. Like he had to think for a minute. And then somebody else asked him, I was like, what does rock chalk mean? And he was like, I have no idea what rock chalk means. And I was like, this kid does not care about any of these schools. He's just going to get a bag.
Yeah. Well,
he didn't know. He knew what BBN meant, but rock chalk, he was like, I have no idea.
I don't know what rock chalk is. I guess it go Kansas.
I
guess I don't know.
But I'm not a Kansas fan.
Right, I don't know either. But with him, I mean, here I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Like, I think he's absolutely, like you said, playing the game. He knows he's got some type of team in there. Somebody's in his ear, making all these calls. Like, hey, this is how you get all the attention. And you know what?
You know who his agent is, right?
Rich Paul, if I had to guess. I don't know.
No, it was the same person who helped LeBron get his first deal with Nike.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
He's pretty good. I'd say he's pretty good at PR and figuring out how to get the most out of something.
No, absolutely. But I will say this too, going on with that though. He absolutely knows what he's doing. His team knows what they're doing. And you know what? So be it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Get the man. Throw the bag at him because I made the take that I don't know if he's a generational player, and I still don't. But after seeing some of his highlights in the in the Jordan game, like he's special.
Let me ask you this, Dillon. I had somebody ask me this earlier, and I was like, man, that's tough. Let's say this five-year thing, gets approved. Would you rather have him or Otego away?
I'm gonna take Tyran Stokes. I mean, I know that was a quick answer, but looking at our guard play with who we have in Zoom, Diallo, and Wilkins, like Wilkins is going to be that.
Yeah.
Like that. Zoom is maybe more like Otega as far as getting to the basket, but Wilkins is going to be able to create his own more. But like in college basketball right now, like that dominance is where you're seeing now guards. You have to have great guards, you do, but like the NBA next level is at that position he's at right now. You think of your AJ DeBonsa, you think of your like Cooper Flat, like that 3-4 type guy who's like 6'7" to 6'9".
Yeah.
And we already know what we're going to get with Otega away, and that's a good thing. But we know his ceiling. Tyran Stokes, his ceiling, I think, is higher.
I was not as high on him until I watched like the McDonald's All-American game and the Jordan Brand Classic, and I was like, yeah, go all in on that kid because he's got it.
Well, and then one last thing, we'll close this thing with Tyran Stokes down is like, what? I mean, you talk about just a resurgence. Like, we are down in the mountains right now and the valleys, but if we were to land him just immediately, not only do I think we get in top 25 with ease then, but you talk about a fan base rallying around, you talk about possibly other recruits, and like, I know that maybe he has some baggage, but man, the number one player just went to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Might as well, and so like, I just think that there's a lot of unknown And like I said, it's not over. It's not over. So let's shift into kind of what you talked about with this whole 5 in 5. I'm going to kind of let you break this down because I can't believe we're here. I feel like every single year it is something new with college basketball. I mean, it's just crazy to me. But go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, there was something that came out today about basically like an emergency legislation or rule that they're kind of putting into effect potentially next month in May. And what this rule is it's going to allow players to, so like Otega Owe, for example, like we were just talking about when I compared, right? It would allow these players like Otega Owe to come back and play a fifth year. And you think about all the craziness of the portal already. Can you think about how crazy it's going to be if this does get passed next month and you have another 100 guys in the portal?
Would it make Mark Pope look like an absolute genius?
Listen, I saw somebody earlier tweet something was like, I'm not saying this is true, I'm just like digging in here. And they were talking about how like Denzel Aberdeen was one of the first seniors to enter the transfer portal. So what if Mark Pope knew that this was possibly coming to fruition and has been playing chess all along with the rest of the coaches in the transfer portal? And I was like, man, that would be awesome if he did, but I don't expect it to go that way.
Yeah, and what's even going to be hilarious, or not hilarious, but it's just going to be unfortunate for Mark Pope, is that if this does happen, and we do land some seniors, and we have a little bit of success, they're going to be like, oh, Mark Pope is one lucky guy. Had he not had that senior portal open up, and that's where I'm getting back to. Like, it's always going to be something. It always is. I mean, it is what it is. But I think it's just crazy. I mean, and the thing that you got to look at is these seniors, why wouldn't you come back? You're going to make money. You're going to make more money than you would on a rookie contract or like a two-way type deal, whatever it is that you're like. If you're not a lottery pick at the top 10 probably, and even at the lottery pick, let's just talk a little bit about that. What about Thomas Howe from Florida coming back? What are we doing? I mean,
yeah.
Did you see how much money they said he was going to be making? Possibly
$8 million.
$8 million a year. Oh, I mean, like,
it's
I can't say I don't
college
blame
basketball
him,
has changed. I mean, but here's my thing though.
I mean, we're talking about Mason. But for the viewers out there, we are talking about a lottery pick, top 15 pick, coming back to college basketball, pretty much saying, you know what? Hey, my dreams of being in the NBA, I'm just going to hold off one more year. Well, there's a lot that can happen in 1 year. Like, I'm not obviously saying but you talk about injury.
Mm-hmm.
What if he just doesn't have as good of a season? Like, I mean, there's so many factors that that can't be just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come back to Florida, an easy decision. I mean, they're also getting Condon back, Chinalu, or however you say his name.
Has he said he was coming back yet?
I think he's going in. He's testing the NBA draft.
Yeah,
But Foot, you might as well bring their whole roster back. Plus, getting Aberdeen. I mean, but go ahead. What was you gonna say?
I was just saying, like you said, like it's kind of crazy to sit here and think about, and I wonder how much we'll actually start seeing this. We saw it with Braylon Mullins as well, who's going back to UConn. And he was a little bit higher, I think around 20-ish. But like you said, anything can happen in 1 year. But then again, you think about like $8 million. If you're smart enough, you can take $8 million and never have to work again a day in your life. Even if something does happen, he doesn't have a great year next year, or not wishing this on the kid, but injuries happen, right? Like you see Jaden Quaintance and how much his stock has fallen because he got hurt. He's sitting here thinking to himself, you know what? I love basketball, but $8 million, if something were to happen, I'm going to be just fine. So I don't know. We'll see if it continues to happen throughout the college landscape. I think you'll start to see it more and more, but it's interesting.
Yeah, no, and it even attests more to some of these coaches who are getting out because of everything. It's just like, they're like, you know what? This ain't my coaching preference. This ain't my coaching style. And it also, attests to some of the older coaches who have had to adapt. You either adapt or you're going to be left behind, Like, I mean, you look at these coaches like Rick Pitino. He's had to adapt. John Calipari. Tom Izzo.
Yep.
Like, you have to adapt in today's NIL days or you're just going to be simply left behind. So the last thing I want to get on to some of the Kentucky stuff is looking into this whole Mitch Barnhart news that dropped. Today is Thursday, and as of right now, Mitch Barnhart no longer will be making $1 million per year as whatever the position he was holding. I forgot the title. Do you know what it is? It was something about
either.
A tutor, a mentor, or something. But Mason, do you agree with everything that has occurred? For those who don't know, Mitch Barnhart was going to be making $1 million in this new. Do you have it on? I don't on this new role.
I don't remember what it was, but it was basically a made up role. Is what it was. They basically created this position just for him.
For Eli, and Eli Capilouto, is that who it is?
Yeah.
So
Capilouto.
The president and himself, with no board of trustees, nobody voting on it. There was nothing. It was just like, hey, thank you for your service. Here is your token, And he also got 10 lifetime seats season ticket seats forever,
Yep.
That's a lot of seats. But anyways, with everything that went down is, a lot of people were questioning it. But there was one person who questioned it and has some authority in the state of Kentucky as Mr. Andy Beshear, our governor. In his little letter, he makes, I don't think that it was directed everything towards Mitch Barnhart. There was some other political stuff that I don't really know and didn't really want to get into as much. But whenever it didn't say Mitch Barnhart by name, but it said whenever you hire a position pretty much that's made up and give them $1 million, everybody knew it was Mitch Barnhart. And we're also talking about a guy who could possibly be running for the president. So yeah, that's a big take. And, Mason, I agree with what we've got on here before whenever that all occurred and happened, that Mitch Barnhart done wonders at the University of Kentucky. He turned our program, as far as collectively all sports, to compete at the highest level, rather than it just be all centralized around Kentucky basketball, and that's the only one that really would compete. He brought programs to new heights they never seen before. However, though, the whole thing that happened, the whole deal, I mean, it's baloney,
Absolutely.
I don't understand. So, good for UK, and it all stems back to, I know you have your personal feelings, so you can go ahead and rash those out, about Mitch Barnhart. I know you respect and he's done a lot for the program, but I know that you've always been like, man, he's hurt us just as much as he's helped us at times.
Yeah, I think overall Mitch has done a great job, and we've talked a little bit about this before. But I just think we've already talked about it, the landscape of college athletics right now, right, with NIL changing everything. I just think he has kind of been stuck in his ways, not really known how to adapt to that. He's also made some very questioning decisions as far as contracts go, and I think that ties back into just kind of old school, right? Like old ways, back in the day that would have been just fine. But now in this college landscape with things changing so rapidly, like you can't just be hit firing on things anymore, right? You got to kind of sit back and assess things and take everything into account before you make decisions. And so ultimately, I think he did a good job. I think he's probably going to be remembered for the end of his tenure, which wasn't great, and that's just kind of how things go. But I do think that the whole, I think it's funny first that Matt Jones and KSR call it out first, right? They're really the ones who brought the attention. Like everybody in the state of Kentucky wants to harp on KSR about, bringing negativity, and sometimes they might, but like they can also create noise that can bring good things. And that's what happened here. They kind of called it out and asked questions, and Mitch Barnhart referred to them as a couple of knuckleheads. And then the governor jumps in, and look what happens. Everything's resolved. It's kind of shut down. And okay, this is a little bit ridiculous here. What are we doing? This is kind of sketchy. So I'm glad that it happened. I think we need to get somebody in the door who understands this new college landscape and can put us in the best position.
Yeah, and ultimately, whenever you don't handle things and go out and do interviews and answer questions, things can occur.
Yep.
And that I like to look at it right now with everything that's going on with Mark Pope. Pope, I know you're not listening to some Bluegrass State of Mind, but if you were, go answer some questions, man. Like, let the people know. Like, we just want to be in the loop of things. Like, you say that this is the best fan base. We're crazy. We're nuts. Like, that's what we're known for. And it's the reason why is because we're invested, man. Like, some programs, as soon as one shining moment comes on, season's done. As soon as they lose, it's done, and then it's not ramped up until, November-ish of next year. But no, for us in the state of Kentucky, this is what we live and breathe. So, like, we just want to be in the loop of things. So, all right, well, let's get into our next segment, Mason. Top 5 programs. If money was not a factor, and when I sent this, there's a couple things we can look at. You can justify your answer with the coaching, the system that they're playing in, exposure, fan base, the culture, whatever it is. And let's give our top 5. And I feel like the best way to do this is let's start at 5, build it up. We'll go one at a time.
Okay.
And kind of explain, kind of give short little descriptions of why we went there. So I'll start us off. Number 5 for me, taking in a lot of different considerations. This was probably my most difficult one. I had a couple here at number 5 that I was thinking about choosing to go. But if I was being recruited right now, and I'm talking about currently, not 10 years ago, 15, 20, and so forth. I'm talking about right now. At number 5, I'm going to go St. John's.
Ooh.
And the reason why is because, 1, Rick Pitino, 2, the way he coaches hard. He is kind of that old school, like he will push you and make you do things that you probably wish you never had done. But at the end of the day, he's going to hug you, and he's going to do what's best for you. And also, another factor into this is St. John's is rocking right now. I mean, the whole culture there. They play at Madison Square Garden, New York. I mean, who are you competing against in the New York as far as college, So, yeah, number 5 for me, I'm going to go St. John's.
All right. I like it. They're on my list, too. A little higher up on my list. And I will say this. It's hard for me to say. I really went back and forth because, I have such, not hatred. Yeah, I guess you could say hatred towards some programs.
Hey, I do too, but I have a couple on there, so.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough for me to put them on there. I'll just say that. Okay, this does not mean I'm a fan of them, but if they were, one of the only high-level schools that would recruit me, I'd probably go there. So coming in at number 5 for me, and probably my hatred is part of the reason why they're so low. But I'm gonna go North Carolina, just because one of the history there. It's a great program, long storied history. And, you got the Jordan brand, you got all that going for you there at North Carolina. The only question mark is, their new coach and how he's going to do. But I think it's just, it's as much as I hate North Carolina, it is a great program. It is, an awesome fan base. It's going to rally around you and support you. So North Carolina is number 5 for me.
Yeah. Number 4 for me, I will openly admit they would be much higher had they not have to deal with the football program. And number 4 for me is going to be the University of Florida. Listen, I can't stand him. I think Todd Golden is a great coach. He is that youthful, passionate, going to ride or die with his guys, he's able to connect with his guys. And, you're in the state of Florida, so there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. The only reason why I've dropped him down to the 4 spot for me right now is because of just in the state of Florida, regardless of how good they are, it's always Gator football. Like that's what they live and breathe. We live and breathe Kentucky basketball. That's football for them. And they're terrible. Or they have been the past, Mason, 5-6 years? I mean,
Yeah.
So
we beat them the last.
Yeah.
So they're bad. Right.
So, however, though, Florida's popping right now. The past 3 years, it's just the Jordan brand is well there. I think they just have a good. They're in a good place. I'll put it that way. So I got number 4, Florida.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of the same programs on our list here. Number 4 for me is St. John's. You've kind of already touched on it, but I just love. I was always coached growing up from the time I was, I don't know, probably middle school, 6th grade until, I got out of high school, just coached hard, right? And Rick Pitino's that type of guy that if you do something wrong, he's going to let you know. If you're not going hard enough, he's going to let you know. He's going to hold you accountable. And I like that. And like you said, they're in New York. I know you don't like New York, but I like New York. Madison Square Garden, all the history around that.
I like New York. I just said I couldn't live there. Now, granted, you're like, Dillon, if you're playing college ball, you have to live there. I get that, but I'm just saying making it my permanent home.
Yeah.
I for sure would go there, though, still.
Yeah. Number 4, St. John's.
Okay. For me, number 3 is this is all about culture right here, and talking about, I think, the best environment, sadly, in college basketball is Rock Chalk, baby. The Kansas Jayhawks. I mean, listen, Allen Fieldhouse, when those big Monday games, oh my goodness. Like I can just envision whenever they were playing Arizona, that little clip that they showed, and it was just bumping there. So you've got all the fans. I think Bill Self is. I don't really know how I feel about Bill Self. I think he is a really good coach. I do think, though, he has had a couple of stints lately where he kind of reminds me of the John Calipari, where he has more talent and doesn't really do much with it as far as in the tournament. It's starting to occur more and more that he's having these really good players or really good teams, and then just really, honestly, don't make it past the second weekend. So however, with all that said, though, I'm still going to go number 3, Kansas.
Okay. This one may come as a surprise to some people, and probably going to be a surprise to you. I'm not putting Kansas on my list. I don't like Kansas. My hatred's taken over there, so they're not on my list. And it's another team in the Big 12 who's kind of come on recently. Been better here. I think especially since NIL, you've seen them be pretty good at both programs, and they don't have, the history in college basketball, so to say, but Texas Tech, I really like their coach. I really like what I'm telling you. Look, since
I just
NIL,
wasn't expecting that.
I know. That's what I said. I really like their coach. I feel like they've gained some momentum here over the last couple years. Started to see that NIL money roll in. There's a lot of money down there in Texas. Their football team was really good last season. Their basketball team was really good this season, really good the year before. So it's, like I said, it's going to come as a shock to some people, but I do really like their coach. Kind of another guy who who coaches you hard, makes you play hard, and he also has guards on his team, which is what I would be, who he just kind of lets them do their own thing and, have fun out there.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that coming whatsoever. So, hey, there you go.
Surprise.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, surprisingly, you said that Kansas was not on your list. North Carolina was not on my list. Never really been a big North Carolina guy. I just like, I know, I know the history of North Carolina. Just, I don't know. I've never really got into the baby blue stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anyways, so I have number 5, St. John's, 4, Florida, number 3, Kansas, number 2. Hurts to say it, but I'm going to do the Cameron Crazies. I'm going to do Duke. Listen, as much as I can't stand the Duke Blue Devils, they're there every year. They can't get over the finish line, or at least they haven't the past 2 years. But listen, his history itself, they're right up there with Kentucky and Kansas. Cameron Indoor, little baby high school gym, but let me tell you, they've got the students there. And they have that persona of right now that we're better than you. We're going to beat you, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. Now, they did get beat this year, but the past 2 or 3 years, Mason, I don't see how you could argue against not putting them on your list because they've proven it. Now, they've not proven it in the postseason to get a title, but I mean, they have been there, Final Four, Elite Eight. They've been there, So,
Yep.
and I do think that John Shire is a good coach too. I think that he could improve. I think that he definitely still has something to prove, that he's not only able to get to where he's getting these guys at, but to finish the job. But all that's culture. And I just think that it'd be a pretty cool place to be, seriously. So I'm going to go Duke Blue Devils for number 2. What do you got at your 2 spot?
That is my number 2 as well. Kind of everything you said, as much as it hurts me and pains me to say this. Duke, just because of all the history there, obviously, it'd be awesome to play at Cameron Indoor with the Cameron Crazies. You mentioned, John Shire. He is a good coach, and I talked about this earlier, but I think these losses that he's having right now in this tournament, as young as he is, it's going to be great for him to grow, and he's just going to continue to get better and better. They've also, you got the Coach K history there. He's still around, and like you said, they've had all these top level talents come through, and they have the reputation right now. So, yeah.
Speaking of Coach K, did you see his grandson?
Was it grandson or nephew or something like? Yeah, grandson.
His grandson or nephew had a DWI, and it unfortunately killed a 15-year-old, I think.
Yeah, right? Nothing really happened from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of really sketchy about that. All right, so I don't want to take number 1 because I have a good feeling we might have the same number 1.
We don't.
Let you we don't?
Nope.
I'm going to let you lead off then.
Okay.
Who's your number 1?
My number 1 is Florida. And I know that you talked about the football, which that's always going to be an impact at Florida, of course. But man,
are you going to talk about how it can't be as though, like, pressure-wise? Is that what you're getting to? That
no,
have the football?
No, I love Todd Golden. Like, he makes me mad right now, but man, I would love for that guy to coach my team. He's just he has this cockiness about him, right? Where he's like, I know I'm better than you, and I'm going to go out there and prove it. He doesn't really care what he says if it's going to make somebody mad, because he's going to back it up. And another thing for me, we saw it a couple times this year during the games we played, but just his relationship that he has with his players. He's fired up on the sideline too. He's going to hold you accountable. He's going to stick up for you. You do something right, he's going to chest bump you. He just seems like a great guy that I would absolutely love to play for you. Like, yes, I make a mistake, he's going to be in my butt. But that's what I need, right? I need to learn from my mistake. And then the next possession, if I come down and make a great play, he's going to be the first one there chest bumping me as I run off the court. So I think he'd be a great person to play for. And to add into the fact that I get to live in Florida, great weather year round, go to the beach. Yeah. Give it to me.
So give the audience, tell them your 5 through 1 more time.
5 was, I don't know, I can't remember.
Did you not write it down?
No, I did write it down. 4 was St. John's, 5 was North Carolina, 3 was Texas Tech, 2 was Duke, 1 was Florida.
Well, you didn't write them down so you could remember. Well, I did, and I'm not going to forget. I cannot believe that you do not have this team on there. Shame on you. You probably going to know who my number 1 is, but shame on you. How in the world do you not have Connecticut on your list?
That's a good point.
I mean, that's why you write them down. Number one, I think it was a toss up for 1 and 2 for me, but Mason, I'm very disappointed. By far,
I would have taken Texas Tech out for sure.
I mean, I was like,
I wasn't even thinking about Connecticut. I don't know. I guess just because they're so far up north, and I was like, man.
well, I mean, okay, so there's a couple reasons. Number one, Dan Hurley is very. I feel the same way. He is just like Todd Golden. He is going to get in your grill. He's going
a little more psycho.
He is, but you know what? Hey, I mean, like, look at what he's doing. Number two, listen, Connecticut is in the Big East. They don't have any. They don't have football, do they? So
no.
I mean, like,
yeah, they have football, but they're not great. They used to be. Okay. I don't even know if they're FBS. They used to be FCS, I think.
Okay, well, they're like Kentucky. They live and die Connecticut basketball.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, if you want to say one negative is that it's in Connecticut, cold weather, but like, I mean, that I can deal with that. It's all good. So yeah, number one for me is UConn. They program itself. History, the coaching right now, the system. I mean, look at just Dan Hurley. I mean, Mason, you got here and said it word for word, like this team should not be in the national championship game.
Very true.
Look at what he was able to do. So system, play style. So my number 5 is St. John's. 4 was Florida. Number 3 was Kansas. Number 2 was Duke. And number 1 for me is UConn. So that's where we're headed if we're getting recruited right now. Let's get into our next segment. All right. Moving right along, we are at the 45-minute mark. We got 2 little games here that we're going to do. The first game, Mason, this is called Jail or Free. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and whenever you say jail pretty much is meaning like it's embarrassing, it's unacceptable, you deserve to be called out. You don't really have to go to jail, but you deserve to be called out. Free is just normal. It's understandable, You're going to let it slide. So it's either going to be a jail or a free card. So you got the jail card or free card. All right, number 1, clapping when the plane lands. Is that going to be a jail card or a free card for you?
Okay, this depends on how the flight was. All right, if it's rough coming in and you're bouncing all over the place,
going on.
Yeah, winds ripping 40 miles an hour. It's acceptable, okay? It's free. But if you've had a pretty smooth flight and, you just want to clap whenever the plane lands, that's jail. Like, what are we doing?
Thinking about that, it reminds me of that and Mark Pope's tweet. Everything comes back to Mark Pope. Like, we're clear skies. I'm like, what are we talking about? All right, number 2, saying I'm on the way, but you still have not left.
Jail 100% of the time. That's one thing I cannot stand is to be like late. Brittany,
I agree.
She don't get in a hurry.
Listen, it is ingrained in my head with our coach Brian Scorch telling us that 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
If you're not 15 minutes early, you're not on time.
That's right.
So as much as I couldn't, stand that, because, but I was always early anyways. But it does make sense, and, it's something that I put into practice now still. So, number 3, taking a phone call on speaker in public.
Oh, jail. Nobody wants to listen to your conversation. Put that thing up to your ear. What's the point in putting it on speaker? What's the point?
Listen, I agree, but here's what I will tell you. As I have gotten older, I don't know. I don't have hearing problems. But, like, I find myself in the car, I'll put it on speaker. Do you do that? Like, I put up my phone on speaker.
I do in the car, yeah. But, like, if I'm
do
walking
it in the house, too.
If I'm walking through the mall. If I get a phone call.
Well, now that's different.
Not like I'm doing something. And I don't want to hold it to my ear.
Okay,
but if I'm,
so
like,
then
walking through the mall or at Target or, at a sports game, I'm not going to put it on speaker.
Gotcha. But, like, if you're outside walking around with your kids or something, you'll put it on speaker. Yeah, I will too. I didn't know if that was something that, it just happens whenever you get older or if it's just a lot of people do it. So maybe a lot of people do it. All right, number 4, laughing at a joke really late because you didn't get it at first.
I'll say, am I doing it or like somebody else is doing it?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just
Okay.
anybody.
I'm gonna say free. Sometimes it just takes people a little bit to get the punchline right. They may process things a little bit slower, so I'm gonna say free. No problem there.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times for me where I don't catch on to something, and I think a lot of times though, when somebody does that, would you agree that it's kind of internally they like do a little smirk and laugh inside rather than out loud?
Yeah.
That would be the only reason why I would maybe consider it to be jail at that point, is because you're like making it very open and be like, okay, calm down. Like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
joke's over. But I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, sometimes it just takes a little bit to process. All right.
That's right.
Moving right along. Number 5, accidentally liking someone's old Instagram post while stalking their page.
That's jail.
Have you ever done that before? Don't lie. Not
I'm
on
sure
Instagram, maybe specifically.
I'm sure I have. If I did, I don't necessarily remember it right now, but I almost guarantee you I have. And
Right.
it's like, oh man, unlike it. It's like, oh, did they get the
Well,
notification?
and I think perspective is big on this. Like, whenever we say stalking, like, yes, that's for sure. But everybody has like clicked on somebody's profile
Yeah.
before and like looked at old photo, or like, so like that's not stalking. I don't think, if you're going through or seen something and you're like going
Yeah.
through, oh, like there's another photo, I remember that, like, and accidentally, I've done that plenty of times where I've accidentally liked something or I've had to like hurry up and undo it.
Yep.
The worst thing, I know this has nothing to do, I'm thinking of clicking on things. We have a church group chat on Facebook Messenger. These old ladies all the time will click something on accident and change like the whole background of everything. And I'm like always having to change it back. It's hilarious. Classic. All right. Number 6, setting 5 alarms and still oversleeping.
Not gonna say I haven't done this before.
That's
but,
crazy. That's wild.
because listen, I don't I don't hardly ever oversleep, but it's happened. So yeah, I mean 5 alarms, oversleeping, that's jail unless there are extenuating circumstances.
Listen, Claire, you got something like tingling? Oh yeah, I can hear that.
Can you?
Got a
You would
little
not have been able to hear
zing.
that before.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
You got a little zinny. Hey, I will tell you this. We got a new Alp. They sent me more Alp pouches. For those that
sent you
do not,
more?
yeah, I accidentally signed up for a subscription. So I'm gonna have to. I told Claire, I'm like, I'm gonna sell them to Mason. So I got the 6 wintergreens. If you want them, you can purchase them for me for $25.
Keep them for member guests for me.
Yeah, I got you. I'm not even gonna open them. So there you go. There's that. Okay, let's move along. We got 2 more. I'm gonna cut it a little short so you can get to your game.
All right.
This one is kind of a little weird. I'm gonna let you share your thoughts on it. Wearing jeans at home for no reason. You're just chillaxing.
Oh, that's jail. Like
I
I
agree.
I just like as soon as I get home, or it's different now because I work from home. But like in the past, I'd get home from work and I would immediately change out of my jeans. And
Oh,
Brittany get mad at
absolutely.
me. Brittany get mad at me because like I'd lay them on the floor, right? Or like I'd lay them on the dresser because I'm gonna wear them again. I'm not gonna wear jeans one time and then wash them. Like I wear my
Oh,
jeans 2 or 3 times.
I agree. Whenever I was teaching still, kind of like you with the jeans thing, on now some people be like, I hate this, but I done it, and Claire would, she didn't mind it. I don't think, she just got used to it. On Sundays, I would wear the exact clothes I wear Sunday
Church.
morning to
Yeah.
church to teaching Monday morning. I mean, or not Monday, all Monday, because I mean, pretty much church clothes was teaching clothes for me, so
Yeah.
same thing,
Yeah. No,
Uh,
that's jail. I just like if you're gonna sit at home and just relax and sit around, get out of your
get comfortable.
jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into the last one. Opening the fridge multiple times like something new is going to appear.
um, I'm gonna say free for me just because I've done this before. It's like, man, I
You just
really
keep
like it.
going back, you're revisiting, like,
Yeah, it's like, man, I'm really hungry, but like nothing in there last time caught my attention. Let me look again and see if I see anything that sounds good. Just because like you're like, man, I don't want to get out and go anywhere. There's really no other options right now. So you just keep looking in there and then finally
yeah,
I'll give in and eat something in there most of the time.
I mean, I've done it plenty of times. I've done it
Yeah.
literally this week, I think, on Tuesday night or something. I just kept opening the fridge. I opened it up like 3 times. Nothing. Didn't find anything. Went and got some candy out of the candy jar. Ate on that for after dinner. So, all right. Well, that's the jail or free segment. We're going to hand it over to you to close us out for the night. What you got for us? This is going to be interesting. Mason, I'll just give the audience a heads up. Mason tried to explain this to me before, and I was so lost. Not so lost. I got it. I was like, we'll figure it out.
Okay, we'll try it. Some of y'all might have seen this on social media. I know it's pretty popular on like TikTok right now, but it's called wavelength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a number 1 through 10. And I'll have Dillon, so y'all don't think we're cheating. I'll have Dillon close his eyes. I'll hold it up on the screen for those of you that are watching. And then Dillon will give me some random category. It could be a sports team. It could be a car. It could be a drink. It could be a food, on what he thinks, that would be rated from 1 to 10, right? And I'll give him a rating, based on, like, if he says car, I would say Chevy truck, right? And that may be like a 6 or whatever it may be. And he's going to try to guess the number based off. So he'll get 3 different categories per number. Okay. Let's just do 3 rounds. So I'll do 3 different numbers, and then you'll get 3 questions to ask each time.
Okay.
Clear as mud.
Yeah, we got it. Speaking of mud, Trip had a ton of mud in his mouth tonight. We were outside working, and Claire, he had it all in his mouth, and it was hilarious. All right, well, let's get into. So I'm gonna close my eyes, right?
Close your eyes. I'll hold the number up, and then.
All right, let's get it.
You're good.
So I can open my eyes now.
Yep, you can open your eyes.
Okay, so I now give you a category.
You give me a category.
Let's do college basketball. Let's just start off that.
A college basketball team?
Yes, college basketball team.
Okay, do you want history or do you want current?
Let's go current.
Current, okay. I'm going to go with Florida. And you can kind of talk like where you're feeling. Like, okay, I feel like that may be like a...
With Florida, obviously, it's going to be... Now, so like 1, 2, 3, would that be really bad or really good?
Really bad.
So 1, 2, 3, okay. Well, then Florida's most definitely going to be at least the 7 to 10 range. Okay. I'm leaning more towards the 9, 10 slot, given that they didn't win this year, but they were really good. I'm going to go a 9.
Okay. All right. You got 2 more categories, and then you can guess what the number is at the end.
Okay. Oh, I thought you was going to tell me right then. No, so I get to, okay.
3. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's go with popsicle flavors.
Ooh, see, this right here could be different because I don't know what your favorite is, but I'm going with the. Are we talking about like the push-up pops, like the ones you cut?
The
blue.
Ones that you cut.
The blue.
Okay. I still like 9. I mean, for me, pink and blue are kind of interchangeably my go-to there. Can't go wrong with them. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with 9 for now.
All right. Last category for this one.
Okay, the last one. Let's do... I'm trying to do something different. What would be something that, like, is known for... Because you said cars or like that. Oh, let's do a clothing brand.
Ooh, a clothing brand. All right. I'm going to go... We'll go Nike.
Man, this is really hard because I'm sitting here now thinking, okay, Florida, 9 or 10, blue, 9 or 10. Like, I really feel like you would have gave me something like Adidas at that, not like Nike, I feel like is that top spot. So I'm going to change now. Because of that, I'm going to change 9 and go to 10. I think that you are giving me the number 10.
It was 9.
Oh!
You should have stuck with it. I couldn't think of it. Like, I feel like Nike's like up here, and then you have like Adidas, Under Armour, all those are kind of below them.
Who would you put above Nike?
I wouldn't, but it's like
Exactly.
I know, but I don't know who's right below him.
Oh
Like I feel
man, I can't take that. I feel like I done really well on
you
that, and then
no, you had 2 that were 9s, and then you had 1 that was like that 9-10 range, so you should have went with 9.
Man, I know, but I thought Nike for sure. He was like, I can't put nothing over Nike, so I was like, okay,
Well,
yeah, it's got to be 10.
I know,
And then I
but
thought blue. I mean, you can't go wrong there in Florida. Also, you just can't go wrong there with a 10 or a 9. So,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
that's wild. That's crazy.
That's good though. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Close your eyes. All right. Go ahead.
Let's do. Let's do golfers.
Golfers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Current form. Okay. All right. All right. I want to go with Tony Finau.
Oh, that is definitely going to be like a 1, 2, or 3. He is currently not doing well. I mean, he didn't even make the Masters. That's the first time he's not made a major in a long time. So right now, I'm immediately headed down 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
Bottom of the tier po for me right now.
All right.
Let's do. Adams or no. Let's do Will Ferrell movies.
Oh. Will
If you need to
Ferrell.
search them up real quick, you can.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it a little difficult for me, like nothing. He's actually having to search them all up.
I am. I'm trying to think.
Okay, let's change it. I feel like that one might be a little difficult. Okay,
yeah,
let's just
that is
change
gonna be hard.
because they're all really good, and then that would probably make it a lot. Let's go. So we've said golfers. Let's do YouTube golfers.
YouTube golfers. Okay. I'm gonna go with Joey Coldcuts.
Oh man, that's more me thinking more like now maybe the possible. Actually, no. I think a 1, 2, 3 still's a good spot for me. I've got to give you a hint. I got to give you something that is clear cut now, kind of getting where I'm like, okay, definitive knowing like this is where they are at. So, let's go. My next category, head coaches. No, not head coaches, because that'd be pretty difficult. Can I do the same category that I've already done before? Actually, let's just go with NBA basketball instead of college basketball. Let's do NBA basketball. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to go with the I'm gonna go with the Utah Jazz.
Okay. So we've got Utah Jazz, Joey Coldcuts, and then Tony Finau.
I don't even know who the worst team was in the NBA this year.
Yeah, I don't either. Tony Finau might be my best guess. I'm going to go down. I'm gonna drop it to a. This is difficult. I'm gonna stick with my gut here. I'm gonna go with a 2.
Oh, so close again. One number off. It was a 3.
I was going to say 3, but at last minute, I stinking changed my mind to a 2.
Yep. I feel like I gave pretty good answers that time. Like, Tony Finau's been playing bad, but there's people that are definitely worse. There's people definitely worse than Joey Coldcuts. And there's teams worse than the Jazz, I think.
Oh, that is so disappointing. I had 3. I was about to say 3, and I changed it at the last minute again. Wow.
All right. Let's see if you can get one. Last one real quick, and then we'll jump off here. All right. Close your eyes. All right.
UK basketball players.
Oh, UK basketball players.
Last
all time?
No, let's do Cal Air and
Cal Era. Okay. We'll go Willie Cauley-Stein.
Okay. I'm immediately going like 5'6" range. Not like amazing, but kind of like still a really good player. Okay. Let's go with golfers on our annual golf trip.
Oh, golfers on our annual golf trip. Okay. I'm gonna say you.
Okay. So this is going to drop it back down because either you're going to throw me really off right now because I'm thinking more so. I mean, Mason, I was like hoping like you was going to like me and you are right down at the bottom.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Well, we haven't been, but
I know,
okay.
but I'm like sitting there.
Okay.
That's why I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like, what? Willie Cauley-Stein, and then me. Like,
okay. Chance.
Okay. I could see that still being like the 6 range, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, something like that. Okay. Let's go the last one. What's a category you was hoping I'd say that I've not said or that you've seen a lot of?
I'll tell you this. Like my tip is I like to try to like narrow it down a little bit more. Like players, I feel like is a good one, right? Like specific people. You've kind of done that this round, so I feel like you're kind of in the right direction. Some people do like fast food restaurants. Some people do like
let's do a fast food
place to
restaurant
go
because
on
I've not ever seen this
vacation.
before. Let's
Okay.
do fast food restaurants.
Fast food restaurants. I'm gonna go with I don't know what you like. That's what's tough about it. I'm gonna go with Burger King.
Okay, Burger King. I am still landing in that 5, 6 range. I don't think it's a 5. I think that looking at it, I've got to lock it in at a 6.
You were so close. We're so close every time. It was a 5.
Oh my goodness. Hey, it just ain't meant to be for me tonight. I missed it by one every single time. Man.
Good job, though. Good
All
job.
right. Yeah, it's a very interesting game. Well, for those who are tuning in live stream, watching us, you can see the setup. I think it's going to work out pretty good. For those who are listening on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening from, we appreciate you all. We are looking forward to getting our other guy back with us, Mr. Bulldog Colton Mott, the newly
That's right.
wed married man. But hey, for those who are listening in, we appreciate you all. Share it with a friend. Always tune into our socials on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Bluegrass State of Mind. And that's been another episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. And what else do we got?
I was going to say we should have the prizes for the Bracket Challenge winners here in the next couple weeks. So.
That is true. We do have that coming out soon. So that's been another episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. As always, go Cats.
That's a wrap for this episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, be on the lookout for our social media pages and be sure to follow them. We've got plenty more stories, insights, and conversations coming your way. And if you really loved it, make sure to share it with a friend. From the hills to the hollers, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep that Kentucky spirit strong.